perfect teammates. They take it all. Here comes the Crow's storm. Knockback, instant combo, person. What is people? Oh my God! Claps, everybody. You know the story. You know the legend.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 3 of LEC Summer. Yeah, what a week is going to be. There's a heat wave in Berlin. There's a heat wave at the analyst desk zone because look at these. Jack Spectra and Dagda. Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, Jack and Dagster, you know?
I see. Unique, like, rare spawn of you two together on the desk. I don't think I've had the pleasure.
No, I mean, we had the cast there for finals, which was 6, so we demanded that it have to happen again.
I get it. So, something I want to talk about, even though it is not around the corner, but yet it feels very close due to the season, is Worlds. And I mean, it's always the main question, right? And now for if you're not in the know, it's literally if you are in the top 3 of summer, at the end of summer, you're going to Worlds. Jack, what do you think about that as opposed to some of the previous versions of this?
I think it's a lot better. The most important thing when it comes to Worlds is how are you performing up to Worlds, right? I don't care if you were good in winter. That's so long ago. Like, who even remembers what happened in winter, you know?
Yeah.
So
Casey does though, so.
But just being good up against the tournament is so important with patches and everything.
Yeah, I think it also gives fans much more to cheer about when you see your favorite team is picking up steam going towards Worlds. We hear so many teams talking about how they want that lead up and that ramp up. To actually have that crescendo where it all comes together right before you hit the world stage is just going to be so sick.
Oh, crescendo, I love that. It's going to be in Madrid, of course, so the stakes will be super high. And talking about Spain and Madrid and MKOI, when we look at these two groups, we have a couple of quotes from people that we want to talk about in this kind of freewheeling ready check. But Zeph said, on which other teams will make Worlds, so that would be MKOI. He said G2 and KC. I don't see any other teams right now that can make it. So, I mean, famous, I hear Fnatic from here, right? What do you think about that?
I mean, I don't think it's like set in stone, like he says, but at the same time, if there was a team I'd say to not make Worlds, it is Fnatic. And it hurts me to say that because I really want Fnatic to make it. I love Mickey, I love Upset, I think Poby's a great addition, but they always fall apart.
They do. That's the thing, right? And they're like, oh, the pieces change, but it keeps happening.
And also, like, we haven't really seen them be tested, right? I'm kind of like holding my breath for Fnatic until we see them against G2 tomorrow. Yeah. And I think that'll give us a much better indication of where they stand in the grand scheme of things. But I'm at least holding out hope that Poby will give them what they need.
Yeah, and I will not write them off before we've seen it because regardless of what happened in the past, you're right, they didn't really get tested in this system, in the group that they are in. But that does mean that the test is going to be so much tougher when they do get to it. Now, Oscar also did quite a long interview as well. I would recommend everyone to go read it. It's a doozy, saying how, we need to be more disciplined in practice. It's been working pretty well. He's pretty confident that they're going to get to Worlds, obviously. I mean, hopefully, if you're a player, you are confident that you will. But what do we think about kind of how everything's working with the new roster? I
mean, I think with Poby, the biggest thing that you'd hope is that their practice is better. Because on paper, I think him and Humanoid, it's not clear exactly who's better. Humanoid, he's been a great player, and he wasn't exactly playing bad. But more the criticism that have been levied towards him is just his attitude, his work ethic. And I think if Poby's bringing that up, like, all you need for a team to kind of falter is if one player isn't putting in the effort, because it demotivates everybody. So if Poby is being more of that shining star that's making everybody work even harder, I think it'd be huge for the team.
I think it's just a breath of fresh air. And Oscar even said in that same interview, hey, look, Poby is stepping up. He is far more vocal than we expected. So I think that's the coolest part. But I do think for Oscar we need to see him kind of be a bit safer on those side lanes. He said himself that he kind of got caught out a few times. So I think that's where my focus is going to be for this upcoming weekend.
Match of the week tomorrow. Of course, MKOI today, and Mel's had said he thinks it's a 4-team competition. Now, if we have the race for Worlds, then apparently they agree only 3. But of course, a 4-team competition, they will give Fnatic that kind of time of day. Let me ask you though, with what they said about, or what Zeph said rather, would you be happy if we think about prospects going into Worlds, if it was G2, KC, and MKOI in terms of kind of what we could show as Europe at Worlds?
I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah?
I think, I'd be pretty happy with that. I would like to see Fnatic as well, but at the same time, with how competitive the top 4 is, if any of those 3 teams make it, I'm pretty happy. I mean, Giant X could sneak in, for example, but then it's like, I don't know if I believe in Giant
Yeah, do we
X
give
anymore.
anyone else the time of day to get in there? GX probably.
Yeah, I like that Giant X are stepping up, but the problem is we're still seeing those big mistakes in the mid game where I just don't hold that confidence, right? Like, even in situations where I see Carmine falling behind, I'm like, well, they've just these insane team fights. There's 9 times out of 10 they're going to be able to bring it back, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that is missing from some of the teams that aren't in that kind of top 4, top 3 discussion is that that crutch factor that we're going to pull it out in the end, and that just isn't quite there.
It's true. It's very interesting to see how it's all going to play out because it's pretty condensed. Like you gotta show it now, or you'll probably be out for this year. And Nuke, he found that out firsthand. He had a little bit of banter with Poby last week before their match together, and so let's see the timeline. So Nuke started it right. Don't get cocky because you'll beat those silly monkeys in lane on Sunday, the really important day. Let's see who's the real boss. I'll make you look like another monkey. And
if I lose to you, I remain in solo queue to New Monkey. And fair play to Nuke, he did go for it. Yeah. But it does hurt when it's shots fired and they're immediately just into the foot.
Yeah. I like what Poby's bringing to the league, like also on Twitter, on X, sorry.
But I think that's the coolest part is like so many people have been like, he's a great addition of both on the Rift, but also like personality wise, like he's vocal. And I think that was the biggest part that a lot of people were like, we don't really know if Poby's going to have it. Like, is he going to be able to be that big vocal part that Fnatic need, or can he kind of integrate himself? And he's been playing off the memes, he's been setting up new ones. Like, I think Poby's just been sick, and fair play to Nuke for playing off it.
Yeah.
I've been really surprised by just how comfortable he seems, and like a lot of the time, for example, when I played with Ruby back in Heretics and Ebby, it took them a long time to actually get comfortable to express themselves. Well, it seems with Poby that he's kind of, maybe it's the confidence from playing so long in T1 that he's just coming in and just willing to express himself and learn so fast, and it's just beautiful to see.
It's been great to see. That's what you hope for everyone who's new blood, who's coming into the league. I think for Navi, it's kind of been with mixed bag. I want to say they're going up against MKOI in our first match of the day, and I wasn't here week 1, of course. So guys, tell me about Navi. Did they, like, which site did they prefer? Like, did they get the bomb down a lot? Like, what was the deal?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of like trying to rush B, but it just didn't really happen. The setup wasn't really there. The smokes weren't in the right position overall.
Yeah, like that was cohesion. Kind of, some entries though.
Yeah.
Got some entries.
Which site did they prefer between Dragon and the Baron?
Well, I think that was kind of the big problem was like, I think Tiger and Malrang kind of liked going towards Dragon, but the rest of the team was kind of more towards the Baron area, and there was that like miscommunication there. So I think if they can kind of shore that up and kind of maybe have one player defend one of the sides, but the rest of them can attack another direction, that's probably good.
What about the retakes?
Yeah.
Nah, that wasn't retakes. They were just getting hammered, I'm afraid.
Okay, fair enough. All jokes aside, though, this is like such an interesting situation, right, for Navi, because I personally am not putting them under too much pressure because of, we know the situation, this is what they're going to go with for summer, and then they'll see. But that does mean if you're those individual players on that roster, you're under tremendous pressure because it means that you might be playing for a contract for next year or else.
Yeah, and I think it's also just like the stress of that, let alone like adding so many new pieces in as well. Like, it's a lot to work on. So I think for Navi, the pressure is there. I just don't know if they're going to be able to sort it out within the next 2 weeks, realistically, especially as you say, like Malrang swapping, and he's got
it's a strange situation. And with Tiger already, they have the next jungler signed for next year. I don't know how I would play in such a scenario where you already know that you're going to get replaced on that team, but you also know that then if you play well in LEC, you can go to another team. But it's a really strange pressure towards them, and for me, I can't really see them making it work.
I see. Well, we'll see what happens indeed. Tall, though. Wow.
Yeah,
and I think it's maybe the way this plays out. Like, even
I was going to say, you haven't done the
They are
favors.
not that much smaller, but it's just because of how the picture is. But let's talk a little bit about their opponents as well, Rob. MKOI, they're on Euphoria this week. Jojo was talking a lot about kind of, something we learned from internationals is we got to make sure that we're faster on every play and every aspect of the game. Have you seen that last week?
Yeah, I saw the good and the bad that came with it, right? And I've got a clip that I want to bring up that really, I think, showcases that. So one of the big things that they talked about was trying to become part of like an LCK style, which is setting up the map in their favor to make these plays and catch people off tempo. And I think this is a good play to kind of showcase that. Excuse me. The things I want to show you are Ayoya is pathing up towards topside. And essentially they want to try and make a play here in towards this topside jungle. The other thing I want to point out is going to be the Rakan. Alvaro is resetting, and he's already changed his summoner spell to teleport. What they want to try and do is attack this top side of the map. So as I play this out, you're immediately going to get Alvaro, who TPs to the top side. He's then going to move up here to help out Jojo Pyun to guarantee this push in towards the top side. Then, as Sivir comes back up from mid, they end up with this push and this invade onto the top side. Now, I think this is sick. Like, this is not something we would have seen from MKOI in spring. And then what I want you to do is see kind of just ignore the next like 15 to 20 seconds. This is now where you get to see some of the cursed side of trying to play this much faster play. Because we end up in this position, you know, where they end up getting caught out and they kind of die and then it all kind of goes a bit crap. But we just ignore that part, right? Because then what I actually want to do is bring it into what is actually the good next part. So obviously things are going a bit haywire. One of the things I've seen a lot from LPL and LCK teams is this ability to go, okay, what has been used? So what ultimates have been used? What abilities have been used? How can we then try and retake on these positions? And that's exactly what MKOI do here as well. So we see that we've already got this push that's come through on mid thanks to Supa, and immediately they just go for this retake. Because if you look, there's been a bunch of ultimates that have been used that actually make it a little bit more difficult for them to try and continue on in this fight. And MKOI do a great job of understanding that. So they retake this position knowing that there's no vision really here for KC, and then they're able to turn this fight back in their favor. So even though they initially went in and lost the player, they're still able to go, hang on a second, no, we've got good position because Vladdy's has to come in from this top side, we can get on towards these people, and they end up salvaging the play. And I think these are some of the really cool things that MKOI have started to adapt into their play since coming back from MSI. The ability to play much quicker on the map, set up the map in their favor, and then spot these little windows of opportunity to then make plays in their favor.
Okay, we'll see what happens today in their match versus Na'Vi, which, you know, should be relatively straightforward, but you never know. And I did have the chance to speak to Adam earlier in our Marriott Bonvoy pregame interview. Thank you very much, Shox. It's nice to get a cue from such a lovely, intelligent, and beautiful lady. And I've also got a lovely, intelligent, and fantastic player next to me. It's Adam, who is ahead of the game versus MKOI. Adam, you just did a long interview with BO3, so I'm sorry if some of the questions overlap. I would recommend everyone to go read it because it was awesome. But every time I interview you, you're in another shirt, almost, right? It seems like it. I'm wondering how you're doing with that. You're kind of a gun for hire. How that works for you as a competitor, because I feel like you want to have a long-term project, right? But you constantly have to adjust.
I mean, that's true. I mean, like for the first time when I joined LEC, I was in Fnatic. I was hoping for that long-term thingy, but it happened only for one split. I could say the same for BDS, but I mean, I stayed 3 years with them, so that's kind of long. With Rogue, I mean, I kind of knew they wanted to sell, so I was not looking for a really specific long-term project with them. But hopefully now with Navi, who's there, maybe it can work as well. So, I mean, I don't know. I would say that I'm just focused on myself and right now. And maybe we'll beat Koi today. I don't know.
Maybe. It feels like an audition almost, right? Because, you know, in a situation where you know they're going to go with this roster for summer and then who knows? How are you dealing with that?
I mean, I would say it's fair for me to say that I have no clue how well we can do in the LEC. I feel like we got kind of smashed by the KC. We couldn't really play the games. So we didn't really show much. But fortunately, I think I would say that we're a pretty good team. And I really believe that we can do some stuff, some damage. I would say we'll just try our best today. But the pressure is not on us, basically.
No, it is not. You did say in that interview that I mentioned, KC, we can't beat. Everyone else, though, we can beat. And I guess a lot of people would be like, Adam, seriously. So why do you think that?
I would say, I don't know, it's like player instinct. I have good feeling with this team. I don't know, I feel like we have good atmosphere. Everyone's kind of enjoying each other's company. It feels way, way different than Rogue, for example. So, I don't know, it feels like I'm just happy to be there, you know, with this team, so I have confidence.
Yeah, I see it. What's your message for MKOI?
Apparently, you know, there's this guy top in Mirin. He likes to trash talk me a lot, but I guess I'll make him show today.
Okay.
Who's the daddy, you know?
Okay, let's go. We'll see indeed. Let's get into it.